Welcome back to the Day One Podcast. I'm Adam Daly, your host, joining you for another episode to talk about updates. And I've got a special guest with me today, Senior Engineer BJ Homer. Welcome.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
Very excited to have BJ on because, as you can tell by the title of this episode, we're going to be talking about shortcuts. And there's a lot of cool, powerful things we can do with shortcuts to enhance your journaling experience, make things quicker, get information from other apps. We're going to go into as much as we can today about that. So, first off, and thank you for the responses to our last episode where I asked if people wanted to come be on the show. I've had several emails reach out to me. I haven't set up a schedule for having you on just yet, but I'm grateful to have a list of people we can talk to. And you've got great stories to share as well. I'm very, very excited to share those with the rest of the Day One community via this podcast. So stay tuned. We've got some people that have reached out, have some great stories and different use cases that I think you'll find interesting and helpful in using Day One. So first things first, right off the bat, let's talk about some updates. 4.9 is coming out soon, hopefully next week. Actually, by the time this episode releases, it'll be this week, I guess.
Yeah.
So keep on the lookout for version 4.9 coming out on iOS and Mac. It's being tested right now. Some things to look forward to. I'm excited about this. Daily prompts are back. We had those in the old Classic app.
We sort of did. We had a few prompts. It would have quotes from various people that are about journaling or just ideas that you might give you a hint of what to journal about. But our prompts this time are a lot more active.
Yeah. They're going to show up once a day, or one question per day. And as you go in there, you just tap answer. It loads up an entry with that prompt on there. You fill it out and move on. I'm working on a help guide right now to have that ready for when the release is available. So you'll be able to go to help.dayoneapp.com and see information, screenshots about how to use those prompts. I'm very excited about that. That was a big request. We've had a lot of people, especially from the old Classic days, wanting something like that to help them. Because sometimes we get stuck, not sure what to write. We're sitting there in front of a blank canvas, and what do I do? Writing prompts, daily prompts are really great in kind of jogging those memories that you've got. One the other day was like, what did you want to be when you grew up, I think? And, that was fun to kind of revisit. It certainly was a lot different than I am now, but it's kind of fun to revisit those memories and just see how we change. So the other thing is we've redesigned the multi-entry view and on this day view. A lot cleaner look. It fits the media in the spaces better. I like the more prominent how many years ago my entries were. I've always said on this day is probably my favorite feature just because I get to revisit those entries from a year ago or multiple years ago and see how I've changed, how I've grown.
Well, not only has the layout changed there, the visual appearance has changed a little bit, yeah, but more importantly, it supports a whole lot more than it used to. So our previous implementation supported text and it supported images, but the new one supports basically everything you can do in an entry. It'll show audio, it'll show video, it'll show your little PDF embeds. It'll show everything that our editor supports in the multi-entry view as well.
And that's great because before it was just photos that you could see in there, and so that's expanded. It looks really nice. I can't wait for you to see it. Those of you who have been on the beta have seen it already. The tiles look really clean. Yeah, it's great. And then lastly, we ran into a bug with the scanning feature where it was only accepting so many pages before it would start to freak out.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons where the file size total that we were supporting for PDFs was 100 megabytes. We've increased that to 250 megabytes to better support the scanning feature so you can get multiple pages. Up to
24 is what we're using the system scanner, which does great. It does color correction for us and kind of straightens things out. It's great. And that supports up to 24 images.
Okay.
And so we do that.
That's the feature I use when I scan in my tickets to events now. Because I used to use a separate app for it, and then I'd have to save it to the camera roll, and then I'd add it to Day One. This cuts out that whole process completely. I just go to Day One, open it up, scan it. It crops it right to the image, like if I'm on a desk or something like that, which I love, because then I don't have to crop it manually. And cool feature. Those are the main ones coming out in 4.9. Still working on different things. We're working on a big overhaul of the PDF exports. It's a big project. We're working on back-end server stuff and always looking for ways to improve the app, looking at crash logs and stuff like that and making sure we've got a a real slick app out there. If you have issues, please let us know. Contact support. There are links below. Now for the meat of our show. BJ, are you ready?
I am ready.
Okay. We're going to talk about Shortcuts. Now, this is the old workflow app that Apple acquired, and when it first came out, it did some pretty basic things, but they've gone and made some improvements, and now it's pretty robust. And then we've also jumped on that wagon, and I don't know what that takes on our side to make more options. Do we just include that in our app package, or?
Yeah, it's we describe what options we support, what kind of actions are supported in the day one shortcuts, and that's something that will probably continue to expand over time. But we've started with a few actions that I think enable some pretty exciting workflows.
Yeah, and complicated ones too. I mean,
Yeah.
the first time you showed me this, there was a really complicated one that was like pulling data from Apple Health or something like that. Is that right?
I think so. Yeah.
But you can, I mean, if you're a little proficient, you can see how the coding works in there. You can do some pretty complicated things if you wanted.
Yeah, and we've seen on the Facebook community, we've seen people share some of their
Yes.
really cool shortcuts.
Yeah. Now, so this podcast this episode's probably mostly for me, so I can learn how to do these, because I've been playing around with them a little bit, but obviously I lack some technical proficiency. So today we're actually going to do something new. So bear with us. I'm going to include a link below here in the notes to a YouTube video, and you'll be able to watch along. I don't know how you're going to be able to time this, but I could say, you could stop this recording now and go to YouTube and finish the rest or something. I don't know. But we're going to do a video recording from BJ's phone, and he's going to take us through some things and show us what are the possibilities with shortcuts. What are some things you can do? Stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to push record on QuickTime here. And I'll do I guess that'll work. We'll just line this up here.
We need one of those little like movie clapper things,
yeah.
The black and white stripe.
I don't even know what those are called. I used to anyway. But yeah, so we've got a video component here. We'll put this up on YouTube so you can follow along and see what BJ is describing, and hopefully it'll get you started maybe building your own shortcuts and seeing what possibilities there are. So
Okay.
I'll let you start to take over here, and then I'll just ask questions or kind of fill in, but
Great.
I'm excited to kind of watch along.
All right, so yeah, the Shortcuts app is starting, I believe, in iOS 13. It was installed on everyone's iPhone by default. And a lot of people probably are like, what is this thing? And probably ignored it because that's what we do when we don't understand things, right?
Well, at least it wasn't the U2 album that they installed on everybody's iPods.
Oh, what a mess. Okay, so I'm going to open up the Shortcuts app here. And it's got this gallery down along the bottom that just gives a hint of some of the things that you can do. Loading.
And these are ones that are already kind of built, and you set up
Yep.
your own variables, right?
Yeah, these are ones that the Apple has sort of curated, and so they give you, hints of like, when do I? So I'll just start by showing some examples that aren't day one specific. So like this morning routine, it says, when do I need to leave by? So you can set it up, and it's got a bunch of actions in here. And if we tap on it, we can see what it does. And so it's got, like, you set up your home address and where you're going. You can set those things up, and then it'll say the driving time. And it does some calculations. Basically says, right before you do that, it's going to show an alert that says, it's going to take you about this many minutes to get to work, so you should leave at this time. So you can just run this shortcut, and it says, okay, you need to leave at 7:15 or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's kind of fun.
Well, and you can see in there, I mean, that just on that example, the different things you can do. You're connecting different apps. There's doing calculations, some scripting and stuff like that, and then prompts can appear.
Yep.
In those cases. So.
Or like this notes one here is simpler. I said it was simpler. It's maybe not. It says,
16 actions.
Right. Yeah. So it finds a bunch of calendar events, and let me just show what this does when we do it. Okay. So we can get this shortcut. We can add it. Say what calendar do we want to use? I'll use, I don't know, just my personal one.
See, there's customization that you get to do.
Yep. Okay, so that says it's added to my shortcuts. So now I can run this, and it says, yeah, we're going to allow it.
You got to do the permissions.
Yep, just the first time. All right, this isn't a great example. Boo. Okay, let me show a simple one. I made this one myself. It's a simple thing that says turn the flashlight on, and you'll see that I named it Lumos.
Yep.
Right?
Oh boy.
Right? So now I can do it. Lumos.
And Siri turns on the flashlight.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
Hey Siri, Knox. Boom. And the flashlight turns off.
You're a wizard, Harry.
Right?
You turned on my flashlight on my watch, by the way. It's on. She had to tell you.
Yep. Okay, so you can see here, like, there's a gallery that has various things. You can search for things on Twitter, and some of these are just like standalone things that you run. Some of them are like, if I open up, I don't know what I have here, like apple.com. I can go to some link, and I'm excited about that, whatever it is that I'm seeing here. Sometimes these shortcuts can show up down in here.
Oh, yes.
Right? So I can do like Wayback Machine. I want to see, what did this page look like in the past?
Okay.
Right? And so it automatically loads up the Wayback Machine page and shows all the changes that have happened on this particular web page.
Wow.
Right? Like, there's cool things that you can do. So let's just go through how you'd make a simple thing here.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm like, okay, maybe these gallery ones are kind of cool. I see something there that I like, but I really want to make my own. So I'm going to come over here to my shortcuts. I'm going to create a new shortcut. And let's say I want something really simple.
Yeah.
I want to maybe like record my current location.
Okay.
And put it in day one.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to add an action.
Now, see, this is where I get stuck.
Uh-huh.
This is where I'm like, okay, where do I go from here? And then bridging the actions that I'm putting together. So
Yep.
You're going to cover this, but I'm just saying this is where I kind of get flustered, because you got these options here: apps, scripting, location, and I just go, oh, where do I go? Right. So
right, yeah. So this top section with the 8 little circles kind of is the home for everything. That's where all of the stuff lives, and then everything below that, suggestions, is basically it watching. Hey, this is how you use your phone.
Okay.
These are things that you might want to do. Maybe you want to make a call or send a message or something. So I'm going to go here to location. And when I tap on location, it pops up and says, here's the various things. And you can see there's a whole bunch of stuff I can do that involves locations.
Yep.
And if I wasn't sure, I can also just search up here. And I could say, like, current location. Right, and I get, right there, get current location.
Okay.
I can tap on that. Boom.
And now it's there.
Now it's there.
But and then we got to figure out what to do with it.
Right. So this is going to like produce my current location, and it's sitting there. And if I run this right now, it's going to run. It's going to say, hey, I'm thinking about getting your current location. It takes a minute to decide how good of a GPS lock it wants to get. And eventually, there it is.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Accurate.
Yeah. But we want to do more than that, right? So we want to say, look, I want to get my current location, and I want to send it somewhere. I want to send it to an app. Maybe I want to send it to the Notes app. So I could create a note with my current location.
Bam. Okay.
Right? And so now if I run this thing, again, it's going to get my current location.
And did you expand this here where it says show
the
compose sheet? Okay.
Yep, the show more, show less. There's some options. I just wanted to see what my options were there. And so because it's got the show compose sheet on, now it brings it up and says, hey, here's like the note that you're going to make.
Okay.
And I can choose where that's going to be saved to. And if I save it, when I come to my Notes app,
bam.
boom, there it is, right?
Yeah, that's
So
awesome.
it made a new note. But doing it in Notes, okay, that's fun, but we'd rather do it in day one. So I'm going to open up here. I'm going to close out of Notes, and again, I'm in this apps section right here, and I find day one. Okay, so here's all the things that you can do.
Okay.
So
And these were more recent additions because we didn't have all of these before,
Right.
like append entry.
Yep.
Okay.
We just added these, I believe, in 4.7 or 4.8.
Cool.
It was
Cool.
just a couple months ago. So I'm going to do create entry. Now there's something that's a little funny right here. We've got 2 of them that say create entry. One of them is
Yes.
create day one entry, and one of them is create entry. The create day
And what's
one.
the third one?
Yeah, down at the bottom there's create entry, and that one I'll come back to that. Remind me to come back to
Yeah,
that. Okay, so this second one that says create day one entry is actually going to be going away. It's one that existed back in the workflow app when Apple acquired it. It was still there, but they've informed us that's going to be going away. They're going to take some of those legacy ones away because we now have the ability to create our own.
Will it break then?
No, so they're going to migrate that.
Okay, cool.
They actually asked us to work with them on that.
That's great.
Yeah. So I'm going to do this one that says create entry. And you can see if I tap and hold on it, it lets me just kind of drag it right in, which is cool.
I like it. There's little modular things you can play around with.
Yeah. So I can say, okay, get my current location. And I'm going to use that location. Actually, when I tap on there, it just does it automatically. But I could also, use that as the text of my entry.
Right.
And I can do more complex things here. I can say, I am at current location with the day one team. Right. Now, you can kind of drop these little variables, these placeholders, into your text. You can see on this, we have a lot of options. If it, by default, it's pretty simple. It's just create an entry with this text.
And if I don't choose any of those, it's going to go into my default journal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, because I like all of those options that you can choose. Really customize it. Put it in what journal you want. Add tags. Very slick.
Yep. And so I'm going to do this thing here. I'm going to do show in app so that when I run this, it's going to actually open up the app just because that makes it easy to demo here. So I'm going to run this one. I should have chosen something that doesn't take so long.
Getting location.
Getting location.
If you are one of the people that have experienced issues with the activity feed or location issues, just know that you're not alone. Like, location can be tricky.
Okay, so here it opens up and it says, hey, which journal do you want to put it in?
Oh, okay, because you didn't choose one.
Yep. And so I'm just going to say I'll put it in my playground.
Oh, no, you had choose. That's what it was.
Oh, yeah.
It didn't. Yeah. So if it says choose, it's going to give you that option, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you open it up here, I think, and that's how it is by default.
Okay. Sweet.
So that's cool. It made, if I come back here, you can see I am at address with the day one team. I forgot a space there, but that's okay. You can fix these things up. But we can do a lot more complex stuff. We can say, okay, but I don't want just my location. Maybe I want a photo. So I'm going to come to the Photos app. And I'm going to say, this is scary. I'm going to get my latest photo.
Yeah, what's in here, Beach? Just kidding.
Hopefully nothing bad. No, I think it's good. And I'm going to say, okay, so this is a cool thing. Each action here kind of produces an output, right? So like this first one produced my location. The second one produces a photo. And you can see right here, I used that location thing, but I want to use the photo as well. So I'm going to come down here in the images. I'm going to say choose a magic variable, select a magic variable, and now it shows all of those outputs kind of hanging off each action.
Yes.
So yeah, I want to take these latest photos here.
Ah, cool.
Right? I'm going to fix my little spacing thing at space. All right, and so now when I run it, it's probably going to be a really boring photo.
That's okay.
Yeah, we got to get rid of that location thing.
So maybe, obviously with something like that, with location, it's going to take a little time to pull the data, get it into the flow, and then produce.
Yep, okay, and I still haven't defined which journal, so I'm going to choose right here. It's going to go into my playground, and boom.
Yes!
Hey, my kids.
That's a great one.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So that's super cool. And
Look at this, you guys. This is so cool. And I'm jumping ahead here. Forgive me. But stuff like this, if you go back to the Shortcuts app, you can save this shortcut as an app icon itself on your home screen. So all you have to do is tap it, and it runs.
Yep. Okay. So let me clean this up a little bit. I'm gonna take out the location stuff just because that's slow. Yeah. You can say create entry. Look. Nope, not iBook. Look at this great photo. Boom. Okay. Yeah, so I've worked on this. Maybe it's I'm happy with it. Maybe I actually want like the last 2 photos or something. I can do that. When I'm done, I'm happy with it. Then I hit next up here in the top, and I can save it. And I can say, save photos to day. Oh yeah, it capitalizes for me. Day 1. Okay, so now.
So you could use Hey Siri for this.
Yep.
Right?
So anything
Stop
I type
it. I'm going
here-
to stop saying that word. all my devices just go crazy.
Yep.
And probably all of yours if you're listening to this outside of headphones.
Yep. Okay, so yeah, if I save this, you can see it shows up right down here. There it is. And indeed, if I do save photos to day 1. Why do save
Maybe
photos
she
to
thinks
day
it's a
1?
question.
Yeah, because it picked up some extra text here. Anyway, it will recognize that phrase that we typed.
Right.
If I say, just take this off.
Ooh, I didn't know you could edit
Oh
that.
yeah, you just tap on it.
What?
It's so cool.
Dude, I just learned something new.
Okay, now do it. Yeah. Anyway, you can invoke
Okay.
it that way.
Okay.
I mean, you saw me do that earlier
Yes.
with Lumos and Nox.
Yep.
Okay. But then the other thing you can do is if I tap on this little 3 dots thing here, I've got options, and I can do the 3 dots here with more options.
Yes, this is what I was
Right?
talking about.
So now, boom, add to home screen.
You can choose an icon for it.
Yep. I can take a photo.
It
of,
can,
like,
it can be a photo,
right?
if you want.
I could choose that, and then I hit add. Boom, add it to my home screen, and there it is. Here, I'll pull
So
it.
you just tap that and it runs the thing.
Yep, boom. It opens it up. It automatically starts running it. It's getting my latest 2 photos. I think I still have it getting my current location on the actual thing itself. Yeah, I should just tell it to always go into a particular journal. Boom. There we go. Now I've got 2 photos.
Yeah.
Right? And so I can just run that whenever I want. And if let's see, let me grab this and pull it over. Okay, put it with my other things here. I can edit this, right? So I can say, for one, let's take off the location thing because that's being slow. Oh yeah, there's a bug. Apple doesn't let you clear the location once you've set it.
Okay, so it wasn't the top one anymore. It was
Yep.
because we put it in here in the day 1 section. Okay. Okay.
Yep. But if I adjust this to say show in app, and I'll just give it like a fixed location. We'll say
There you go.
Hale Center Theater, and then it doesn't have to look me up. So now when I run it, it's not going to open it up in day 1 anymore.
That's just
It's
it.
just done.
Yeah. So when I do go back later, there it is
Yep.
in my journal.
So I don't even have to be like taken out of the context that I'm in so much.
Oh man.
That's really cool.
This is so cool.
But-
Lots of capability or possibilities here that people could do.
Yep.
And really customize what they want. I know Apple Health is a big one.
Mm-hmm.
People want Apple Health data in day 1, and we've got some integration where we're reporting mindfulness minutes and pulling step counts and stuff like that, but health samples or
Yeah.
workouts, right? And then you can get those pushed into day 1.
Mm-hmm. So you can pull up. I'm going to allow health. Sure. Yep.
Okay.
How many flights have I climbed today? Yes. Okay. The health.
I know.
thing
You got to get the permissions going in there.
Yep. Okay. So how many flights have I climbed in the last 7 days?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And totally customizable. 1 day, 2 days, whatever you want.
Yep. And if I run this, I can see kind of what it's going to produce here.
One
apparently
flight.
I've climbed 1 flight of stairs. All right.
That can't be possible.
That can't be possible.
We work upstairs.
Maybe it's just getting like the latest. So it's probably all the samples, and on this one sample, you can see I've got.
Yes.
I climbed 2 flights of stairs here, right?
It's showing like a daily count.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
7 out of 213. Did you see that?
Yeah, so I've got like
You had a lot.
I had a ton of them, right? I think there's a way that I can like add them together. Math, calculate statistics, calculate the sum of all of those. Okay. Now, I
Bam.
climbed
Okay.
264.
Okay. There you go. That's
Right?
that's a better answer.
Yeah. I was like, what? No.
There's no way.
Right, and again, I can come here, I can say, okay, I'm going to create an entry. I have climbed some. That's the little variable there.
I have
right?
climbed some stairs.
Yeah, right. In the last week. Now that needs an exclamation mark.
Yeah, we're gonna celebrate this.
Right. Yeah. And we're gonna not make it prompt us. I'm gonna put that in my playground. Yep, and then I'm gonna run it. Boom. Okay, cool. And it made it. And if I come over here to day 1, I have climbed 264 stairs.
Sweet.
In the last week.
Oh man, this is so great. I'm excited. I'm excited that we're doing a video component for this too, so people can see like how this works and how it integrates. Because as if you go back to the Shortcuts app, can you click on the apps again?
Down here. Let's see. Come
Yeah.
up.
And get out of this one. Just
Okay, yep.
so look at all the things you can do, and I bet many of those will integrate. If not, I mean, all of them will with day 1. Whatever data you want from those things, like I use Find My all the time, like tracking people. I stock all my family. Maybe getting some of that information, or you've got weather here with dark sky. Great, all sorts of stuff you can get.
Yeah, it's really exciting.
What can you do with phone calls? Can you get like log?
I don't know. Let's find out.
Phone call
You
stuff?
can start a call.
Oh, start a call.
Right,
Okay.
so-
depending on the app itself, you may be limited in what you can do.
Yep.
But check them out. See what you can pull in.
Yeah. So let me show you another cool thing. So
Okay.
in this health example that we just made, where we're logging how many staircases we climbed. Okay, that's kind of fun, but I have to go and manually remember to do that.
Yes.
Right? And maybe I want to be a little more automatic about this. Okay. So I'm going to save this. I'm going to say log stairs to day 1. I'm going to save that as a shortcut. All right, now I am going to come over here on my automation tab, and I want to say I'm going to create a personal automation that runs maybe at 10 p.m. or something. 10 p.m. every Sunday.
What the?
Right?
My computer
Every
sleeping?
Sunday. And then I say, what do I want it to do? Well, I want it to run a workflow or run a shortcut.
Okay.
Which shortcut? Well, I want
The
it
one
to
you just
run
did.
that one I just made, right? It doesn't need any specific input. Boom. Okay, so now every 10 p.m., every Sunday at 10 p.m., it'll pop up a thing that shows that it's going to run this for me.
Okay, so it doesn't do it automatically
Yeah,
necessarily.
so it drops down a little notification that's like, and it's got like a little button. You just tap on it and it goes.
and it runs.
Yep.
Oh man, the automation. I mean, I don't want to tell people to stop interacting with our app,
Right.
But these are some really cool tricks to get maybe some data you want in there automatically, without kind of compiling it yourself. I mean, the stairs or workouts done, completed, or whatever, all automatic. I mean, that stuff is maybe a little more mundane as opposed to like writing down my memories. That's going to be harder to do on a shortcut level.
Yeah.
But what a cool way to automate some of the data you may want in day 1. That's awesome.
Yep. All right, let me show you one more thing. So we have a user. I mentioned that we've had users on the Facebook group who have built their own shortcuts.
Yeah.
And I want to pull up one of these that's really cool. So it's this log entry day 1 right here. So day 1, there's kind of 2 ways that people use it. A lot of people will just create a new entry whenever they want to do something, right? 5 times a day, create a new entry. But some people want to kind of have a single entry for the whole day. They just like to do it that way.
Yes.
And so this user built this shortcut, and it's a big shortcut, right? And basically what this does is it goes and says, hey, do I have an entry already on today? If I don't, go and create one. And if I do, then append to, and so you can see right here, it's creating it, it's creating an entry, and then it asks, okay, now what do you want to write, right?
See, these are the complexities that I was talking about earlier that kind of scared me off. He's got a lot of if,
right,
scripting and stuff like that. So, but what a cool thing.
So then, it'll come up and you can append to the entry. And so, if I run
If there
this,
is one already.
or well, if not, it'll create a new one.
Right. Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And then it'll pin to it. So I can open this up, and it says, talking on the podcast. Boom. And it says, do I want to include the time that this happened? Because it's like a pending, and I'll say, yeah, sure, right now. That's fine.
Hey, for all the people who want a timestamp button in day one.
Yeah, so
Just
this is when I was
check this
playing
out.
with it earlier, right? Like at 7:08, 7:09. Let's see, I need to find where that one that we just did went.
It appended to this entry on March 6th.
Oh yeah, it did. It totally appended.
So the
to
one, it saw that it had value already.
Yep.
And then appended to that.
Yep.
And look at that. It's got the time on there. Can we share this? We're allowed
Yeah.
to share this. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll put a link to this shortcut in the notes below if you want to check it out and use
Yeah.
it. It's pretty slick.
Yep.
You may have to look at the permissions in the Shortcuts app, I believe, to accept other.
I think when you click on the link, it'll say, "Hey, do you want to allow shortcuts?" This one didn't come from Apple. And
Got
you trust it. But
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll put a link to that. We'll just say the main shortcut link will be below, and you can use this one for yourself if you want, because I think that's really complicated. I wouldn't be able to build that myself
Right.
unless somebody was walking me through it. But it might be even fun, like if you're curious, go in there and see all the steps, see
Yeah.
all the complications that it can do, and then maybe use those to build your own.
Yeah, you're not going to start out with a 40 action shortcut.
Yeah.
But you can use other people's things, and you can investigate them and look at it, and maybe you want to tweak the text a little
Yeah.
bit. You can go through it, and it's really not that hard to find where that is and tweak it, and
Yep.
it's an easy way to start exploring what you can do with shortcuts.
Yes. Anyway, all right. This has been a great thing. Thank you for joining me today. We're going to wrap this up right now. The video will be online. It'll have a YouTube link right below in this audio, or you can just go to YouTube, find the Day One podcast, and check out this video component to our episode today. This is the first, so
Yeah.
I'm going to edit this weekend and see how it turns out. But yeah, thanks everybody for joining us today. We're glad to be back on the show, posting more regularly, and we're going to keep that up. Stay tuned next week for something else. And then look out for that update for 4.9 coming out hopefully during this week. So thanks, everybody. BJ and Adam saying have a great week.
Yeah, thank you.